Final details of spot Bitcoin ETFs are nearly finished. Approval now 99.9%. SEC lawyering all but done. Bitcoin on the daily chart, it's very simply doing bull market things. I want to break that down in the video, and I want to also discuss and pivot to altcoins. Altcoins doing something spectacular as well. Solana, kind of a leading indicator. It's been very reliable in terms of being a leading indicator for things like Ethereum, AVAX, Cardano. Look at that ADA chart. So we're going to dive into altcoins as well. But I want to start with this news, everybody. This is monumental. When we zoom out on a Bitcoin chart for just guidance in terms of where we are in these cycles, the narratives and the Bitcoin spot ETF news that is playing out right here, this is like anything that we've ever seen in cycles past. This is a very big deal, and I want to explain why that's important on the Bitcoin charts. But US Bitcoin ETF issuer talks with SEC have advanced two key details. This is the paragraph I wanted to read. Discussions between the U.S. securities regulator and asset managers hoping to list Bitcoin exchange-traded funds have advanced to key technical details in a sign the agency may soon approve the products, industry executives said. This is imminent. This is imminent. As Andrew over here on X said, 99.9%. And right now, Bitcoin on the daily, I said it's doing bull market things because this move that we see happening right here, which is firstly breaking this resistance back here, very just normal resistance for Bitcoin to come back down. But the fact that it's going higher and the fact that the RSI, if you look at the RSI here, operating in the manner that it is, overbought, touching around 50, just above 50, and back into overbought, hanging out in this territory and hanging out in overbought the way it's doing, this is bull market type of vibes. And what I mean by that is we can go back, and this is all the way back here, November 2020. This is Bitcoin breaking the actual bull market doors. This was a huge deal right here. Bitcoin hanging out in the overbought territory. That's why I say this is bull market things in terms of momentum of Bitcoin. You can see it pivoting down right around 50 on the RSI, slower moving momentum oscillator, just some consolidation, and then boom, higher into overbought. Though that's what I mean by bull market things. And then in a bear market, obviously, we're at the lower end of the RSI. And so that's why I'm saying a little bit earlier this time, Bitcoin is doing things it really hasn't done. It's operating in a manner it hasn't operated. And I think so much of that has to do with this headline, the Bitcoin ETF, and the fact that we're in December 7th, everybody. The deadline is January 10th, and we are getting close to really just an imminent approval. And maybe it's a sell the news event. Somebody, I think, mentioned that to me briefly before. If that is the case, there will be your people that are just like, hey, this is a sell the news event, and I'm going to sell. That doesn't change the fact that trillions of dollars are getting ready to enter the space. And when we monitor the zoomed out on Bitcoin charts, short term, if you're just trading in the short term and you're thinking in the short term, meaning weeks, even just the next couple of months, I think, and this is just my view on these markets, I think that is a terrible mistake. So this is what we're looking at, though. I have this rectangle here. This is kind of a key area now that Bitcoin is approaching it that I wanted to just mention again. I'm going to be continuing to mention this in the short term as well as the midterm, because this is the bull market doors right here. We just saw what it looked like back here in November 2020, Bitcoin operating in a very similar fashion to that area. It's a bull market high to bear market low. It's a green lower high Fibonacci resistance being broken. So you can notice pre-halving, it was tested back here. That 618 line fell, and then it was broken post-halving. But here's what's so intriguing. When we're looking at the Bitcoin daily chart, we have a $48,000 target. We have a $55,000 or so target to the upside. When we start monitoring those areas and we're on this Bitcoin chart and we're monitoring the bull market doors, bull market high to bear market low, look at this where this is. It's right around 48,000 at the 618 to around 57,000 at the 786. These are like two targets basically that we're tracking anyway. Bitcoin to the upside. What happens here? This will be decisive in, I think, determining, or I should say answering the question of, is it different this time? What's going to happen? If Bitcoin breaks through this area prior to the halving, I don't even know what to say, everybody. I'll have to just do a video just talking about how bullish it is for crypto in general for this next bull cycle. That would be absolutely something that has never happened before, Bitcoin breaking this region. But first, it has to be tested, and the narrative is in play for Bitcoin to do it. But at the same time, I always want to just mention why we should just be so cautious, right? We've come up, we've broken to the upside out of this kind of ascending triangle. We've hit the target. It could be time for Bitcoin to retrace to 38,000. On this daily chart, interesting to see, it just hasn't happened yet, right? So it very well could start trickling down. Even if you look at the momentum oscillator, it's even on this daily trending down. So I think it's something to be mindful of, especially as the oscillator does put in a lower high from this high, right? So that's some bearish divergence right there. Good to be careful, but this space is certainly heating up. I want to pivot to altcoins. I want to talk about Solana. I did a video, I believe, I don't know, maybe 2-3 weeks ago or so, just talking about Solana kind of acting as, and every cycle, it seems like there's different altcoins that act as a leading indicator, meaning they're doing something just crazy while other cryptos are not really doing much. And then it just takes time for the other cryptos to take off and follow. So this is Solana. You can see breaking out of his ascending triangle. This happened back in like October. You go to something like Ethereum, it's interesting to note that Ethereum hasn't had any massive breakouts out of its massive triangle. A little bit different of a triangle, but very similar. But right now, finally breaking to the upside. Go to something like AVAX. AVAX most recently breaking out of its own structure, the upper trend line here. And then ADA most recently breaking out of its own structure, an upper trend line, 85-cent target. So we have around a $4,700 target for Ethereum out of this triangle it's breaking out of. AVAX has a $37 target, and ADA has an 85-cent target. I wanted to point out on the oscillators, this is Solana, and this is kind of where we get the hint of, man, Solana might be a little bit of a leading indicator. Solana might be signaling that some of these other altcoins might have a little bit higher to go, and this is why. If we look at the Solana breakout, look at Solana this was in October, end of October, breaking overbought on the RSI, and it just went crazy overbought. Consolidates, and still right now going higher, right? So it's very heated on this RSI momentum oscillator. Now we go to Ethereum. What's Ethereum doing? Look at this. Ethereum is just entering overbought. This is what happened for Solana like end of October, just over a month ago or so, around a month ago. It's happening now in Ethereum. Ethereum might now be time to shine to the upside. That's not necessarily saying we're going to hit the $4,700 target, but a huge breakout setting up for maybe a pivot and back down to test the trend line before eventually going. These are huge targets, everybody. These take time. AVAX, similar story. When we look at the RSI, it kind of hit overbought. It fell below overbought. Once again, right now trending in overbought. And actually no type of bearish divergence on this weekly oscillator. You can see higher high on the oscillator, higher high on price, $37 target for AVAX, looking like a really good target. And then we have ADA. ADA, very similar scenario. It's just newly in the overbought territory. Shortly after breaking its own triangle, 85-cent target to the upside. Again, is that saying, man, this week, 85-cent target? No. Is it saying next week? No. Is it saying in 2 weeks? No, that's not what it's saying. But we're saying that's the target on the macro. This is a very big pattern going back to like August of 2022, August, September 2022. So the time to get to 85 cents could be a little bit, and it could be like a pump to the upside, continue pump to the upside, 200 week moving average, maybe resistance, fall to the downside, and then pivot back to 85 cents to the upside. That could be the path to 85 cents, right? So needless to say, though, there's room for upside into overbought on the weekly for all of these alts, ADA, AVAX, Ethereum. And I think the indicator that says that that's possible is very simply Solana and what it has accomplished. And this is something we've seen happen a lot in cycles past. So this is what I'm tracking for these altcoins. This is what I'm tracking for Bitcoin. Exciting times for the crypto space, nonetheless, everybody. Let me know what you all think in the comments below, how you're all doing out there. If you're not a subscriber, please hit the subscribe, turn the notifications on. Things are heating up. This is getting exciting. We're not even at the halving. We're not even at Bitcoin halving yet, and this is happening. So I appreciate each and every one of you. I really do. Your support means a ton. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.